Flight Boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Aries Moon, Flight Boss, the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now I'm about to run through each sign, Aries through Pisces, and talk about the asterisms, which will be in sidereal or Vedic, it would be the nakshatras. Now, this is what you need to understand. This video right here is going to decipher which one is kind of a little bit stronger. Now, the asterisms is a little bit stronger than the nakshatras. The nakshatras is a little bit more religious and made up. Because here's the nakshatras is about this. From 0 to 10 degrees, that's a basic nakshatra, right? Within a sign. Then from 10 to 20 degrees, that'll be another nakshatra. And then from 20 to 30 degrees, that'll be another nakshatra. Now, since it's predicated on space, so when it's predicated on space, it's not even predicated on those signs or constellations, because we know constellations it expand longer and shorter than 30 degrees. So they're not even calculating it on that. And then on another end, see, when we talk about what I'm finna talk about as far as asterisms, see, from something from 1 to 10 degrees, we really have to get specific when we talk about degrees, because based upon a degree, you may not even specifically be from that same constellation. So how are you receiving the same energy because you call it the nakshatra spans from 1 to 10 degrees? Then you got like 4 pods, aka 4 gods that rule that or something like that. That don't even, you see what I'm saying? All y'all ain't sharing the same energy from one. You could be 1 degree something, and the next person to you could be 2 degrees of the same sign, and could be totally influenced by separate energies. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you have to understand about asterisms. We're not looping and grouping things into one, because each asterism has a specific fixed star there that may be lesser or more stronger than the other stars that is around to make up that constellation. So this is giving you an understanding of how to actually look at the fixed stars and actually see the Purans of them there, and how to actually come to a conclusion without making up a nakshatra or things of that nature. So this will be the real thing. So asterisms. So like I said, here's another thing you need to understand before I break this down. When I say Aries through Pisces, I'm not talking about the stars Aries. I'm not talking about the star constellation that created the shape that looked like a ram. Those stars are moving same way as the torch. So when I say Aries, I'm talking about the head space of that area. So the head space of that area generate and create lots of new stars, and a lot of stars that previously was there before or getting ready to go there could move into the head space of that area. You see what I'm saying? But that's what's getting influenced and modified, but that space right there is how we correlate things. So our space is how we understand the influences that's going on within that space. Same way you got a household. So you have other different stars, aka people in your house. So your house is going to be influenced in a certain way because of all the different influence and lights in that house. You see what I'm saying? House. Alright, now look, let's get into the motherfucking asterisms, right? Now, like I said, the constellations is the backdrop, and since we're in the whole within being of the Draco constellation is going to expand all the way from Aries all the way to maybe like the end of or the middle of Sagittarius. Now, once we get to Capricorn and below, that's when we starting to develop the rest of our bottom half, because we are in the age of the centaurs. So we're developing, we're trying to spiritually rise from our lower animalistic natures to our more man-like, mankind, creature like energies. So this is why we're actually coming to the grips of all this religion right now, coming to the grips of all these things. When you talk about technology and shit, we always have technology. This age of Aquarius, that is us. We're already a piece of that body. We're now trying to add on and evolve right now. And when we understand the real ages and understand the higher fixed stars, the fixed star going by that for a higher clock, you will understand we're actually in the age of centaurs, and where we're actually moving, like the age of Lyra. But let's get out of that. The age Aries through Pisces is what we already done. We're already that body. See what I'm saying? Now, let's get into Aries, which means the head space. So the space that's in the head. So the head is a lot of times is where spring gets created from our perspective and relative to us. So the head creates that, how spring is getting influenced and the actions that's going on and the colors and the things that's going to be taking place as far as the leaves and stuff is going to be predicated based on stars there. So when we talk about nakshatras and things of that nature, what they're going to say is Aries knows the Pisces stars there. Then they make up a sign, which the sign is not based on the actual stars, and then they predicate sciences on top of that, which you may not even be specifically a Pisces. Now look, here's the actual asterisms of the Aries constellation, which, understand, it's the head. So here's all the stars affecting that space, the head space: Pegasus, Cetus, Cepheus, Andromeda, Draco, Eridanus, and Pisces. Now you have dominant, predominant stars like alpha stars, gamma stars. This is how you know the size of the star, the size of the brain wave. Your brain is a star, brain wave. So for the most part, you're looking at you have different sizes, which ones hold more power, other ones don't hold more power. So for the most part, we understand that and understand the Purans based upon where they're relative to. See, this way we don't have to actually say, oh no, the Aries stars isn't in the isn't in that Aries spot no more. Same way sidereal and Vedic. How you know when the actual star constellations got discovered? How you know that was Aries? We just called it that. But if it's a 360 going round and round and round, you see what I'm saying? Do you get the point? So you missing the whole concept. It's based upon space. Then the stars. Then we understand the influences of the stars because we understand the space that they are in. Now check this out. Taurus, the throat. Now in the throat space, all the stars that's controlling the throat space at the moment right now is Cetus, Eridanus, Draco, Aries, Cassiopeia, Cepheus, Triangulum, Andromeda, Perseus, Taurus, and Pleiades. All those star constellations is controlling the throat right now, which is the area of life that birthed the actual star constellation of Taurus. And you still have certain star constellations, still have certain stars that's there, and then a lot of them moved on. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of Aries certain Aries stars there, like the fixed star Hamal. You know what I'm saying? That's in the head of the ram. You know. Now let's go to Gemini, the lungs and all the dualistic natures to you, like the two hands, all the two of you. You got Perseus, Eridanus, which is the snail or something like that, whatever. Taurus, Hadam, which is actually Hades, Orion, Auriga, which is actually Auriga, which is actually a real man, woman-like being. You know what I'm saying? Lepus, Columba, Orion's Nebula, and Ursa Minor. Sorry about that. Now, let's get into the Cancer, which is the heart space. Now, the stars that's traveling through here is the Gemini stars, Canis Major, Draco, Carina, Argos Navis, Ursa Major, Canis Minor, and those are the stars that's traveling through. So you got prominent big stars in those. Do your research on some of these constellations. You know, now the Leo, the stomach. Now the stars that's traveling through there is Ursa Major, Cancer, Puppis, Argo Navis, which is a very important ship that y'all should do your research on. Draco, Ursa Minor, Leo, Hydra, and a lot of animalistic natures going on with Leo in general. You know, let's go to Virgo, the nervous system. Leo Minor, the baby lion, Ursa Major. See, these are all asterisms. You know, Leo. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, Virgo, nervous system. Leo Minor, Ursa Major, Draco, Vela, Argos Navis, Leo, Cans, Venatici, Carina, Crater. And these are all the stars that's in the Virgo constellation. You know what I'm saying? So you got... Now, let's, not the Virgo constellation, but the nerve system space, which is the sign of Virgo. See, in that space, signs developed out of that space, which was stars that relative to each other and created certain spirals and vibrations. Now, as they moved on, that frequency vibration is still there. But we need a calendar to understand what space originating. But see, that space may not even have originated that actual star. See, this is the misconception and the miscalculations of sidereal and Vedic. And then they're doing it on Spica shit. It becomes a miscalculation. We're trying to stay on task. Now, Libra. This is the half of you, your other half. You know what I'm saying? That separates your man and animal nature. Your bottom half and then your top half. Now, you got the Draco, Virgo, Carina, Argos Navis, Coma Berenices, and Corvus, which is the bird, and Boots, which is the real man, woman like being. Now you have the Scorpio, which is the sex organs. So in that space, what's controlling that space right now is Carina, Argos Navis, Boots, Virgo, Crux, Corona, Borealis, Centaurus, Libra, Serpens, Draco, Hercules. And then when you probably looking at the names and the constellations and really get to you have to understand the etymology and the frequency vibrations of these things, of why they even take shape and form the way they take shape and form. Then you will be able to start to spiritually incline and actually tell someone the influences that they're getting from these energies. You see what I'm saying? For an example, you say the crutch. The crutch is like the cross that's beneath us, right? But when you start to look at the Grand Cardinal Cross, the crossing of spirits, when the intersection on streets, when you cross someone's out based upon y'all having opposing ideas and things of that nature, you can start to add the spiritual nature to it. So anybody who falls on this degree, right, will have that energy backed and supported by Scorpio. This would make Scorpios heavily religious, occult-like, because when you look at the cross in itself and occult-like energies, which is doing things behind closed doors, it's a frequency vibration that comes from somewhere. So it plays out through Scorpio. So before y'all tell Scorpios, oh no, you really this and you do this, that, and the third, understand what the fuck you talking about. See what I'm saying? Now, Sagittarius, the thighs. So what's moving along in the space in the area of the thighs, right, will be Hercules, Ophiuchus, Scorpio, Draco, Triangulum Australis, and the Sagittarius stars. Same thing with Ophiuchus. Oh, y'all look at it like, oh, it's the serpent barrier, this, that, and third. Look, get to the metaphysics of it. When you talk about the snake, that only represents dragon-like energies. Dragon etymology is represent anything that separates itself from others. So that's separate. Anytime you separate, you go into the dark. You go on within your own. So all things that's correlate to when you want to talk about sperm or someone being separate and going into hidden knowledge, all that's dealing with the dragon or the serpent or the snake. Then once you correlate that and go to a higher level, you understand that deals with fire type spirituality, which is the lizard, snake, logic, which you're consciously aware of, and being able to take what you're internal and bring it to the external in a very unique way. So that's dealing with the fire energy. Now once you understand fire, you know fire is transformation. So anytime something is condensed in coldness and is able to live, like as far as bacteria, you need to heat. So transform. So this is fire. So this brought up the science of healing. So this is where healing came from. So when you see snakes on hospitals and shit like that, this is where it correlates to. But since it's in an energetic space based upon our rotation in Sagittarius, this is why Sagittarius will be perceived as having wisdom, knowledge, meaning, and reasoning to things of perceptions and experiences, and being able to help someone else before they go through the experience, so they help that person's mind and have enough wisdom and knowledge on philosophy. Do you understand? You see what I'm saying? This goes way deeper than anything y'all motherfuckers be trying to kick. I don't give a fuck if y'all talking about sidereal, Vedic, fuck all that shit. You see what I'm saying? Now, you gotta be spiritually inclined to see that shit though. So everything is a stepping stool though. Everything is a stepping stool. Usually what happens is a person may start with Western, then they go to Vedic because it appears to be a stepping stool, but they end up coming to the conclusion that they need to apply to both of the systems anyway. And that's a smart astrologer who understands to come to who come to the terms of the grits to be like, okay, we gotta apply two systems. But once you do that for so long, as Archangel Uriel, I'm telling you, look, don't waste your time. At some point in time, you're gonna start to understand that you're only doing one thing. You see what I'm saying? Now, yeah, Sagittarius, Now, the Sagittarius is the Hercules, Ophiuchus, Scorpio, Draco, Triangulum, Australis, and the Sagittarius stars moving through the thighs. Now, the Capricorn, areas of space. Now, what's moving through the kneecaps right now is the Sagittarius stars, Lyra, Serpens, Aquila, Pavo, Sagitta, which is the actual bow itself. It's an asterism. You know, Sagittarius and got the bow, but the asterism is the bow itself. That's stars. Everything is a star. Everything is stars. Like, just what y'all need to understand. You see what I'm saying? Now in Capricorn, you got Sagittarius, Lyra, the Serpents, Aquila, Pavo, Sagitta, and Cygnus, the bird. Now in the Aquarius constellation, I mean the Aquarius space, which is the shins of this body, of this ecliptic body in this being we're in, traveling through space, right? The group of stars and constellations and asterisms that's there is Aquila, Capricorn, Aquarius, Grus, Delphinus, Eculeus, Cygnus, Pegasus, and then Pisces, the feet area of life in our 360. The stars that's moving through there right now is Aquarius, Pisces, Pisces, Australis, Pegasus, Eridanus, however you say it, Eridanus, Phoenix constellation, and Cygnus, the bird. So I don't care. Fucking a nakshatra when you saying 1 through 10 degrees and 4 gods rule that shit. No, 1 degree may be a different sign and constellation. The second degree may be different. The third degree. So this is what makes everyone different. And you have to understand that you are not these stars themselves. You are a star. So we're all influencing each other and channeling each other based upon our space and location. So the better we understand our space and location, we know how we influencing and channeling each other. Now, the moment we start to look at these stars as higher beings and gods and shit like that, and they direct our lives, and then once you come up with some type of horoscopic system that's based on a fixed star, not even based upon a prominent fixed star like the royal fixed stars that at least is on the equator of the equinoxes and the vernal solstice, or equinoxes based upon a higher clock, then it's basically star worship. You're following a star. You fall pushing on the stars like a flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air.